Monday, June 21st, and this is now on H&N.
If you don't have to be in the area, please don't.
Drivers are urged to plan ahead as work continues on a damaged water main on Moanalua Freeway.
Our community has been tremendously impacted.
After pummeling communities along the Gulf Coast and inland, the storm known as Claudette has strengthened as it takes aim at North Carolina.
Do you remember that Coast Guard rescue off California recently of that Hawaii-bound kayaker? Well, now we've learned that that's going to cost taxpayers more than $40,000.
I'm feeling very, very Hawaiian today.
We've got these stories, plus H&N participates in Rokerthon. It's an attempt to break a world record. Details coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon on this Monday. Thanks for watching This Is Now. You got Jonathan and Ashley here coming to you from the H&N Digital Center. Wanted to let you guys know we are expecting a 1:30 media press conference with Governor Ige. We're going to bring that to you live. He's going to be talking about his veto list, but we're also expecting him to answer questions about possibly lifting restrictions earlier than expected.
Yep, and we have those numbers from the State Department of Health, those coronavirus numbers, really promising today, you guys. 14 new infections and no new fatalities. They include 2 cases on the Big Island and 11 cases on Oahu. Now, July 4th is less than 2 weeks away. That's the day the Biden administration set a goal for having 70% of adults with at least one shot of a COVID-19 vaccine. By the way, here in Hawaii, 61% of our population has at least one dose.
And as we take a live video feed into the H&N Digital Center of DC, everyone's wondering, will the nation reach that White House goal? And at this rate we're going, it's not likely. We've got Britt Conway standing by with much more on this.
On July 4, we're going to celebrate our independence from the virus as we celebrate our independence of our nation.
Independence from COVID-19, one shot at a time, by getting 70% of adults at least partially vaccinated in less than 2 weeks. We're at a little more than 65%. Close, but at the weekly vaccination rate we're at, getting to 70 is unlikely. In 16 states and D.C., 70% of adults have gotten one dose. That's in dark green. In light green, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Wyoming are among the slowest to vaccinate. But medical experts are less worried about hitting 70% by the 4th.
I think as a practical matter from a public health standpoint, it's not going to have an impact whether we hit 68% or 70%.
And more worried about where we go from here.
Now we need to think about trying to push out the vaccine into community sites where people could get it delivered to them through a trusted intermediary. That's going to mean doctors' offices, schools, places of employment.
Especially as the Delta variant continues to spread.
I anticipate that will be the predominant variant in the months ahead.
It's already taking its toll in Missouri.
We've seen a 5-fold increase in hospitalized patients in less than 4 weeks. Our doctors are describing them as younger, sicker. They're often coming to us later in the disease process, so we have less therapy options for them.
And that was Britt Conway reporting there. I want to take you, well, this is a brand new picture just into our newsroom. This actually unfolded this morning. This is a big traffic mess on the Big Island there in South Kona. But good news is, see what you're seeing here. You're seeing this pole down, this utility pole down on Highway 11. Closed both directions for most of the morning. We just got word in that this mess is cleared up and the road will be, or just reopened just moments ago. Again, the news is the traffic alert we're passing along right now. Highway 11 now open there in South Kona. We got more traffic news though, right, Ashley?
Yeah, let's take you live outside with our traffic cam. This is Moanalua Freeway at Fort Shafter. Now, drivers are urged to plan ahead as work continues on a crucial 42-inch water main that was damaged on Moanalua Freeway. Now, on Friday, the line, which is the largest line the Board of Water Supply manages, was damaged after a contractor was performing underground drilling. Sammy Salina has the update.
Repairs continue to be made on the westbound side of the Moanalua Freeway and just past the Fort Shafter and Ahua Street exit. So it's that afternoon commute that you need to watch out for. There was heavy traffic over the weekend, but there is a plan to open up more lanes during the work week. So starting today between 4 a.m. and 10 p.m., only one westbound lane will be closed instead of the multiple lanes we saw over the weekend as crews work on repairs. Overnight, additional lanes may also be closed. Right now, there isn't an end date to this work. They said it does take time to get this done, and if you can, it's not a bad idea to avoid using this part of the freeway.
There's always 3 lanes during the daylight hours going west for free-flowing traffic. The city is looking at all of the streets, the surface streets, and they will be adjusting and timing the lights accordingly to allow for easier flow of traffic. And I do believe the state is suspending any other westbound work on the freeway until this repair is effected.
The pipe is crucial to bringing about 15 million gallons of water from Pearl Harbor to urban Honolulu and even as far out as Hawaii Kai. The Board of Water Supply said they are currently monitoring their systems, and right now there is no need for a water conservation notice. They said that a backup pipeline and reservoirs are maintaining that demand here in Honolulu. Sammy Solina for This Is Now.
Labor shortages are among the reasons American Airlines is being forced to cancel hundreds of flights through at least mid-July. The airline had 120 cancellations on Saturday alone and is projecting at least 50 to 80 flight cancellations a day going forward. The surge in demand for air travel, unprecedented bad weather, and challenges with vendors trying to return to full employment are other factors. The airline's Dallas-Fort Worth hub is said to be most affected by the scheduling issues. Customers who have been booked through July 15th will be notified so they can make travel adjustments in advance. The Tokyo Olympics will allow some local fans to attend when the games start in just over a month. Janice Mackey-Freyer has more.
Good to hear and to see you.
A decision to allow domestic fans at the Tokyo Olympics is boosting certainty the games will go ahead. Months ago, it was determined that foreign visitors could not attend, but now domestic fans will be allowed in small numbers. Officials say the upper limit is 50% at most venues to a maximum of 10,000 people. But these plans could be changed or scrapped altogether if another state of emergency is required to bring COVID under control. The decision contradicts the advice of Japan's top medical advisor, who said the safest way to pull off the games would be to have no fans, and most Japanese are opposed to hosting the games at all. But IOC officials and organizers say it's important for athletes to have spectators watching live. There will be other restrictions in place with a little over a month to go before the opening ceremony. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
To developing news out of the Asia Pacific now. President Biden's special envoy for North Korea said today he hopes for a positive reaction from the North soon on U.S. offers for talks. The new top envoy for North Korea, Sung Kim, is in South Korea for a 5-day visit. He met today with South Korea's envoy and later in 3-party talks involving Japanese counterparts.
Most importantly, we reaffirmed our two countries' shared commitment to pursuing the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula through diplomacy and dialogue. We took note of the recent statement out of Pyongyang regarding their preparation for dialogue, and we hope to receive a positive response to our proposal for a meeting soon.
Kim arrived in Seoul on Saturday, a day after North Korean state media reported that leader Kim Jong-un urged preparation for both dialogue and confrontation with the United States. More than 1 billion doses of the vaccine have now been administered in China. This is an impressive COVID vaccine milestone. Stephen Jiang reports.
China's one-party political system, its top-down power structure, has allowed the authorities here to make things happen when they want to, and mass vaccination is no exception. Now, technically, getting vaccinated is still voluntary, but if you work for a government agency or one of the thousands of state-owned companies or a public institution, you are pretty much compelled to take the shots. And we have also learned from talking to people on the ground and through state media and social media that in some cases, local authorities have been exerting pressure not only on people themselves, but also through their families. For example, some parents have been told if they don't get vaccinated, their children risk not being able to go to school. Yet in other cases, local officials, just like in many other countries, have been offering incentives, handing out freebies from cooking oil to eggs to a chance to win a free iPhone to encourage people to get the shot. So it's really a combination of tactics. But this 1 billion dose milestone, it's worth noting the context. China actually had a pretty stuttering start in terms of its vaccination rollout. It hit its first million mark in late March, 2 weeks behind the United States. Now the pace has picked up significantly. China completed its last 100 million doses within just 5 days before hitting this 1 billion mark. So that's why the government is now using all these numbers and figures as proof to showcase and highlight, quote unquote, the advantages of its political system. But given the population size of more than 1.4 billion people, on a doses per 100 residents basis, China still lags behind the US, although they're catching up fast. But that's also why even some local experts have been quoted as saying China needs to administer at least 2 billion doses before they can start talking about herd immunity. And that, of course, is a tall order given the lingering vaccine hesitation among many people in the population. Stephen Zhang, CNN, Beijing.
New at noon, a new national report says when it comes to ensuring the economic well-being of children, Hawaii ranks near the bottom. In just a year, the 2021 Kids Count data book says Hawaii plunged from 25th in the nation to 44th. The data developed by the Annie E. Casey Foundation looks at how families fared between the Great Recession and the start of the COVID-19 pandemic by analyzing various indicators such as education, health, family, and community. It found in 2019, 24% of Hawaii's children live in families where no parent was fully employed, and 38% of keiki live in households where housing costs create challenges. The Hawaii Children's Action Network says the report shows Hawaii's keiki were falling behind the rest of the nation even before the pandemic, and the organization says policymakers and leaders must act boldly to prevent the situation from getting worse. Taxpayers are footing the bill for the recent ocean rescue of a California man who was trying to kayak to Hawaii by himself. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, Cyril Deramo's rescue will cost taxpayers more than $42,000. Earlier this month, after 6 days at sea, he had to call the U.S. Coast Guard to save him about 70 miles off the coast of Santa Cruz. The bill includes rescue crew hours, helicopter fuel, and a few other things. An official with the U.S. Coast Guard told the San Francisco Chronicle that the money comes from a $1 billion national budget for search and rescue teams. Tropical storm Claudette strengthened today as it neared the coast of the Carolinas. Elise Preston has more.
The storm drenched the North Carolina coast as it made its way northeast and back out to sea. Over the weekend, this same weather system brought tragedy to Alabama.
There's no words that can describe the loss that we all feel right now.
10 people died in this multi-car crash near Greenville. 8 were children traveling together in a van from the Tallapoosa County Girls Ranch, a nonprofit that provides a home for neglected or abused children. The kids, ranging from 3 to 17, were returning from a week at the beach.
We love these children. They're like our children.
This is what Claudette left behind in Bruton, Alabama, after triggering a suspected tornado. At least 50 homes were damaged or demolished. And in Louisiana, police made multiple rescues in Slidell when flooding swamped as many as 50 cars. Further north, a massive cleanup is underway after a separate storm brought a tornado to suburban Chicago.
It was the weirdest sensation. My ears just started popping like I was going up on an airplane really quick.
Here's what's left of the kitchen in this Woodridge home after the storm shredded buildings and brought down both trees and power lines. More than 100 homes were damaged in the 3 miles affected.
Our community has been tremendously impacted. It's actually devastating.
Several people were hospitalized. Residents say by the time they heard the siren, the tornado was already touching down. Elise Preston, CBS News.
And we'll continue to follow that severe weather news. Have updates for you tonight on First at 4 and on your CBS and NBC Evening News. All right, let's turn to our weather. I got a live video feed yet again coming in from downtown. It's only 82 degrees out there right now, but things are going to be heating up. Here's Guy Hoggy with an update.
How's it on this Monday? We've got the typical trade wind weather that includes a few windward and Mauka showers this morning, but the rainfall is light. It's moving through rather quickly. Rainfall totals will be minimal. And trade wind's already picking up speed. Look how windy it is already in Maui County. That's going to be the windiest spot of anywhere today. Lighter winds, of course, over in Kona. Well, they'll get southerly winds. It's going to be hot and sticky over in West Hawaii. We're in for a beautiful day today, including high surf on the South Shore. High surf advisory posted for all South Shores. 88 degrees, the expected high in Honolulu. It's going to be a warm one, make no mistake about that. But there will be a few light passing showers, and those trade winds running a little soft today at 10 to 15. That will allow for slightly higher humidity levels. Now, as far as the waves, that high surf advisory is on for South Shores. That's where it's going to be biggest and dangerous. This swell is on the way down, and it's going to get a little more inconsistent with that real big fat tide at 2:13. Best time to surf it is just before that tide peaks. Now, the next few days, the weather's not going to change very much. Lots of sunshine expected. There will be some windward and Mauka showers, but really small kind. And then look at all the sunshine is going to drive temperatures into the upper 80s. Stronger trade winds due in for the weekend. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
So here's something super cool we wanted to tell you about. Some UH scientists have helped develop a rainbow chasing app.
On H1, on the hill of Kaimuki, there was a crazy rainbow. The shower looks like a silver pebble, and it's double. I still believe I haven't seen any better rainbow than that one.
Paulson is a shameless rainbow enthusiast. Just check out his ride. So much so that he has partnered with a UH professor who published a research paper on why Hawaii is the rainbow capital of the world. Together, they've created a free app to help others track down and chase rainbows in the Aloha State.
The sun direction is given by the orange line, and you want to face away from the sun, so you want to face in the direction of the black line, and then look for a rainbow within that angle between the two blue lines. That's the rainbow angle.
In addition to the chase section in the app, Rainbow Chase has different features to see cloud patterns, weather predictions, and personal photos of rainbow sightings.
We have lots of clean, clear air. We also have relatively small showers that allow the sun to get in underneath. And we have mountains, and the mountains help to enhance the shower activity and at the same time create sun on the lee side. And so as the sun sets on the lee side, it illuminates the showers over the kolaus and creates rainbows.
Now, beyond the science, Sin believes the app will increase the circulation of Hawaii's rainbow photos across the world, acting as a virtual postcard of free promotion for the state.
We have 10 million visitors coming to Hawaii every year. If we can give them chance to find more rainbow, what they're gonna do is they're gonna smile and say, "Holy cow!" Then they take a picture and they will shoot everywhere.
We love you, Paul. That was awesome.
He's awesome. He's like a rainbow in human form. I love him.
And his car was so cool for our podcast listeners. It was a little sports car convertible, just had rainbow pinstripe action all around it. Super cool.
Yeah.
All right, talking about what the internet is talking about today. Some trouble in space. A computer glitch is impacting the Hubble Space Telescope. A problem with Hubble's payload computer has temporarily stalled viewing capabilities. According to the space agency, experts believe the issue could be a bad memory board. This is pretty old equipment, you know, it's been up there since April of 1990, bringing us decades of amazing images. I would hate to see this go away. It's so important to science.
You guys, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, he's heading to space next month, and some people would like him to stay there. Now, several online petitions have popped up urging the Amazon CEO not to return to Earth. One on change.org has more than 46,000 signatures. It says, quote, billionaires should not exist on Earth or in space, but should they decide the latter, they should stay there. Now, obviously, Bezos is planning to return to Earth. He will only be in space for about 11 minutes on July 20th as part of the first crewed flight aboard his Blue Origin rocket, New Shepard.
Man, people are rough on him.
That's harsh. I know. And a very big bang next to a very big boat. Now, a massive explosion went off in the Atlantic Ocean, and the U.S. Navy says they did it on purpose. Now, it was part of an explosives trial to test the battle strength of the Navy's newest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford. Now, conducted about 100 miles off the Florida coast, the tests are called the full ship shock trials. Now, they are intended to be shocking. The triggered blast registered as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The trials are meant to simulate how a new ship would perform in battle conditions. Now, once they are completed, the carrier will undergo maintenance, modernization, and repairs before being deployed.
That was huge.
Yeah, I guess you have to test them to see.
Yeah, that shockwave was impressive there. All right, you guys, we told you earlier about a chicken wing shortage. Well, now one restaurant is sort of getting creative with how they can resolve all this. You know, the restaurant Wingstop says it's now selling chicken thighs along with chicken wings. The restaurant launched a virtual brand called Thigh Stop today. Thigh Stop will serve crispy thighs with or without sauce, breaded or boneless. The company says the thighs, though, are only available for takeout and delivery. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm a
Not
chicken
as
wing fan.
catchy as Wingstop.
Yeah, Thigh Stop.
Earlier this morning, in case you missed it, our very own Guy Hoggy got to speak with Al Roker for the Today's Show's tradition, Rokerthon. So apparently Al even knows how famous Guy Hoggy is. Check it out.
I'm feeling very, very Hawaiian today. Let's go to Waikiki Beach. My man, Guy Hoggy, our weather anchor at KHNL, Hawaii's News Now.
How are you
Honolulu,
doing?
I got my pineapple. I'm doing great. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Guy, a question. You are one of the legendary broadcasters there in Hawaii. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing the weather for TV something like 25 years, I think.
Wow, that's great.
But Al, I started when I was 3.
Thank you so much. Wow, there you go.
Little delay there, but super cool. 2 super legendary weathermen. Love them both. Super cool guys.
We gotta get Al like a Sig Zane or a Brent Spooner or something.
Just gonna say, Guy won the Aloha shirt contest hands down on that one. For sure.
Will Smith is unveiling a new memoir. That's right. The book called Will is due out November 9th, and he recently shared the cover art for his life story on Instagram. Now, the actor-rapper says he worked on writing it for more than 2 years. It starts with his life in West Philadelphia, the neighborhood where he was born and raised, just as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song describes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Smith was still a teenager when his single Parents Just Don't Understand was released. He quickly went on to superstardom as an actor on TV, then moved to the big screen to star in films like Bad Boys, Men in Black, and The Pursuit of Happiness. Did you know he has 4 Grammy Awards too?
I did not know that,
Me
but
neither.
Men in Black, I mean, getting jiggy with it, I can see why. And
Really?
an almost attempt at singing that song. I saw that. And it's going to be
Just
stuck
do
in my
it. It's
head
Monday.
all day.
All
Thank you. All right, guys, that's going to be it for This Is Now. Notice how I didn't even attempt to sing today. We'll be back at first at 4. Ashley and Mark will be at least on KHNL. You don't want to miss.
Mark's off all week.
Mark's
I am
off
by
all
myself.
week. What is up with
I
all
know,
these
it's okay. He
vacations
deserves
lately,
it.
Ashley? Well, have fun with that solo. I'll be off, but we'll be podcasting. Don't forget we're podcasting all the time here at This Is Now on HNN. So just find our podcast anywhere you want to find them. And we're also sending out a daily newsletter with those COVID numbers changing so much. You'll want to sign up for that. Just go to your HNN digital platforms. It's really easy to sign up, and those numbers and a bunch of other news get sent right to your inbox on your convenience. You guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.